From the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC), developing Nigeria's automotive industry. This is Automotive Hour, projecting Nigeria's automotive industry to the world.
Energy transition is no longer a distant goal. It is here, reshaping how Nigerians move, trade, and innovate. Across the globe, cleaner alternatives are driving the future of transportation. And in Nigeria, compressed natural gas, or CNG, is taking center stage. Hello and welcome to another edition of Automotive Hour, brought to you by the National Automotive Design and Development Council, NADDC. This program is dedicated to bringing you the latest developments, insights, and innovations shaping Nigeria's automotive sector. I am your host, Maimuna Ahoiza Zubair. On this episode, we turn our spotlight to Nigeria's CNG Drive, a presidential initiative in collaboration with the NADDC that is transforming our automotive ecosystem. And on our Meet the Manufacturer segment, we will be showcasing auto stakeholders, private manufacturers, and assemblers who are blazing the trail in CNG integration, proving that this transition is not only government-led, but industry-driven as well. But before we get into all that, let's bring you the top stories making the rounds in the Nigerian automotive industry.
Still on efforts to strengthen Nigeria's automotive sector, the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC) met with the Bureau of Public Procurement (BPP) on the 2nd of September 2025 to deliberate on the implementation of Nigeria First automotive policy. The high-level meeting was led by NADDC Director General Oluwemimo Joseph Oshonipin and the Director General of the BPP, Dr. Adebowale A. Adedokun. The engagement focused on developing clear policy guidelines, ensuring compliance frameworks, and exploring collaborative areas to deepen the nation's automotive development. In his remarks, Mr. Oshonipin sought the BPP's guidance on frameworks that would be extended to stakeholders and local assemblers, especially those operating complete knocked-down and a semi-knocked-down assembly. He stressed the need to prioritize made-in-Nigeria vehicles in the public sector, proposing that at least 50% of vehicles used in ministries, departments, and agencies should be locally manufactured. He also highlighted key issues including stronger after-sales support, availability of spare parts, and a proposed credit cooperation system to ease vehicle ownership for Nigerians. Responding, Dr. Adedokun emphasized that the BPP's oversight role goes beyond compliance to ensuring adherence to international standards. He identified after-sales service as a major challenge and urged assemblers to adopt pricing models that would make vehicles more affordable. He further stressed the importance of collaboration between NADDC and the power sector, particularly in advancing electric vehicle development and charging infrastructure. The BPP also announced plans to conduct a nationwide vehicle audit on production, sales, and usage patterns, with NADDC providing the framework. The meeting closed with a resolution to convene all local assemblers for further engagements on warranty, insurance, local component sourcing, and other key industry priorities. In a strategic step to accelerate the growth of Nigeria's automotive industry, the National Automotive Design and Development Council (NADDC), led by its Director General Oluwemimo Joseph Oshonipin, paid a courtesy visit to the Nigeria Customs Service (NCS) headquarters in Abuja. The team was warmly received by the Controller General of Customs, Mr. Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR. The engagement was aimed at deepening cooperation between both agencies to ensure effective implementation of policies driving the sustainable growth of Nigeria's automotive sector. During the visit, DG Oshonipin commended the Customs Service for its unwavering support in advancing the National Automotive Industry Development Plan, NADDC. He noted that customs play a critical role in the success of the auto industry and described the relationship between both agencies as symbiotic. He further highlighted three key focus areas: the integration of the Nigerian Automotive Repository Platform, NAP, with Customs B Odogwu Platform, the enforcement of certificates of standard for imported vehicles in collaboration with the Standards Organization of Nigeria, and the reinstatement of age limits on used vehicles to protect consumers, the environment, and the local industry. Responding, CGC Adeniyi reaffirmed customs' commitment to strengthen Nigeria's auto sector, noting that the industry is vital to economic growth and aligns with the Nigeria First initiative of the federal government. He further pledged that the service would prioritize procurement of locally produced vehicles in 2025 and emphasized the importance of stakeholder engagement in policy formulation for effective implementation. The meeting ended with both agencies pledging to deepen collaboration in the collective interest of advancing Nigeria's automotive development.
Welcome back to Automotive Hour. Now, with the removal of fuel subsidies came the urgent need for affordable and sustainable alternatives. Out of this came the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, PCNGI, which has been working hand in hand with the NADDC to accelerate CNG adoption. From free conversions to trainings and partnerships, PCNGI is bridging policy and practice. The Council's collaboration has been central, providing certification, capacity building, and a regulatory backbone to sustain this energy transition. Let's take a closer look.
When President Bola Ahmed Tinubu announced the removal of fuel subsidy in May 2023, it marked a turning point in Nigeria's energy and economic landscape. To cushion the effect on citizens and industries, the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative, PCNGI, was born with Program Director Engineer Michael Olowagbemi at the helm. The initiative is designed to drive the adoption of CNG as a cheaper, cleaner alternative to petrol and diesel.
The objective of the Presidential CNG Initiative was enunciated by the President in his October 1st speech when he stated that the PCNGI's mandate was to drive the adoption of alternative energies for transportation in order to ensure lower cost and better efficiency and cleaner environment for all Nigerians. And so our goal at the Presidential CNG Initiative is to drive adoption of alternative fuel vehicle, compressed natural gas being a primary one, because Nigeria is a gas country that happens to have some crude oil. And so we're saying we use that energy that's abundant in about 30 of Nigeria's 36 states. That energy that Nigeria has 1/3 of the reserve in Africa, 210 TCF of proven gas reserves, with another 350 TCF yet unproven that can last us for 99 years, that we should use that to drive the adoption of lower cost fuel vehicle in terms of running, but even lower emission vehicles that eventually will lead to better lives for all Nigerians.
The policy has been central to its progress. Backed by the Subsidy Removal Directive and Nigeria's Energy Transition Framework, the initiative serves as the engine room for implementing the shift from petrol to CNG and eventually electric mobility in line with global climate commitments.
Gas will always be lower priced. And because gas is I call it our patriotic fuel. It's a fuel that exists in almost all Nigerian states, in Bauchi, in Nasarawa. All the new gas fields we found in Benue Trough, for example, have been mostly natural gas fields. So it is the fuel available for all Nigerians, easily accessible, easily used. It's cleaner, it's cheaper, it's more reliable. You are now making it competitive in terms of pricing. That allows it to be utilized. Today, even as a peak, even let's say LCNG, which is probably the most priced, selling for about 520, 525 naira. Whereas petrol is going to still selling for between 900 and 1,100 naira, depending on which part of the country you're in. That's a deep 50% discount. That allowed CNG to be widely adopted. The second most important policy is the policy of energy transition. What that policy stated was that the best transition for energy for Nigeria to adopt is to first go with CNG and to layer it with EV. And so these two twin policies, the policy of pricing of the fuel, they laid the economic backbone for the adoption of CNG widely in Nigeria and EVs, and also this policy of energy transition, which contributes to our national determined estimate, which is part of our commitment to the Paris Climate Accord. All of these policies together and the implementation of it is what is the backbone of the implementation of the compressed natural gas policy in Nigeria and the alternative vehicle policy overall by the PCNGI.
The targets are ambitious: 1 million conversions by 2027. Already, over 100,000 vehicles have been switched, with private sector partners expected to triple these numbers in the coming years.
We have a 1 million vehicle conversion target. We are about 100,000 today, of which the government itself directly was responsible for 25,000. So if we are doing one, we're expecting our private sector partners to be doing three. Right. So in the net of it, we expect that at least of that 1 million, private sector is driving 750,000 of that. Government is probably got 250,000. This year, we've already secured additional kits to continue the government program. About 70,000 kits have now been secured, paid for. That will launch the second phase of that program on the government side. Already, we are seeing the private sector is even accelerating beyond the ×3 targets. A lot of them are now doing ×4 of what we are doing on our side.
To sustain this growth, infrastructure is key. PCNGI has partnered with the Nigerian-Chinese consortium to establish the country's first CNG industrial park, while private firms expand refueling stations and distribution hubs, supported by government incentives.
At the PCNGI, we're collaborating with private sector that is both Nigerian and Chinese to build the first CNG industrial park in Nigeria. Is going to be in Ajaokuta. And so that is the first step. The idea is that components like cylinders, like kits, like even the platforms themselves, the CNG vehicles, will be manufactured in Nigeria.
Capacity building has also been prioritized. More than 5,000 technicians have been trained and certified in partnership with the National Automotive Design and Development Council, ensuring a skilled workforce to service the industry.
We've trained more than 5,000 technicians since the start of this program. NADDC is a partner in that process, alongside many other government organizations like SMEDAN, like NASENI. We should train more engineers, train more technicians, train the manpower, because even if we bring the equipment here and we set up and say, okay, you're going to manufacture here, if people are not there to run it, then you cannot achieve what you want to achieve. So how do we get more conversion technicians? How do we get more conversion engineers? How do we get the manpower, the business development, the marketing power behind this industry? I think this is the golden era of the automotive industry. I'm very, very proud of the work that all of the entities, including NADDC, NASENI, SMEDAN, and all of us are doing together. And it's about collaboration. You cannot achieve anything we're doing without collaboration. SON, it's an organization of Nigeria, FRSE, the Nigerian Midstream Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agencies, and all of these organizations come together and have been very, very, very supportive of this ambition of Mr. President.
Affordability and access remain central. Commercial and mass transit vehicles currently enjoy free conversion, with private owners next in line through credit facilities introduced by government.
We had 3 mandates. The first mandate was to encourage the adoption of alternative vehicles by all Nigerians, be it CNG or EV. We've gone from just mere 4,000 vehicles to about 100,000 vehicles on the road today that's using CNG, and about triple the number of EV vehicles on the road today because of the work that we've done. We've also seen conversion centers go up. There were just merely 7 of them when we started this program. Today we have about 325. All of them licensed, also primarily by NADDC. What we did first was to identify the part of the economy that needs support when it comes to conversion. And this is the 25% I talked about. Like everything else, it's 80-20 in life, right? So you have about 20% of the economy that was picking up and conveying 80 to 90% of the public, which is the mass transit sector. So your commercial drivers, your Ubers and all that, they don't convey, but they're just 20% of the car pool. And so we looked at that and said, okay, the total car pool in Nigeria is about 11.95 million vehicles. About 4.755 million of them are private vehicles, not commercial. Of that, about 1.5 are these mass transit vehicles. So you can see how the maths worked out. They're about 20%. And so we declared free conversions for them. And they are the parts of the program that are enjoying free conversions. We've done that 25,000 so far. We'll do another 70,000 because we're just getting the second batch. So for them, it's absolutely free. But for the ordinary consumer, non-commercial vehicles, the private individual that moves his family around, we also want them to convert the vehicle. And so what we are hoping to create in the next phase of the program is an opportunity for credit. The president also has a credit program, which is the credit core, which will be providing credit for people to be able to afford upfront cost of conversion. To be honest, in terms of overall affordability, it's still quite affordable at about 700,000, 800,000, but you're going to make that money back in less than 3 months, right? Because you're saving every week, you're saving about 35,000 naira on a Toyota Corolla that costs you about 50,000 naira to fuel. You're not using 15,000 naira. So if you do that math, it will tell you that in 20 weeks, the 700,000 you used to convert that Corolla, you've made it back.
Safety and standards are non-negotiable. The initiative works closely with the Standards Organization of Nigeria, NADDC, and the Federal Road Safety Commission to ensure conversion meets strict regulatory benchmarks.
NADDC's principle. Without conversion centers, then you cannot have compressed natural gas industry, right? So from day one, that collaboration was there. And we worked together to get the Standard Organization of Nigeria to publish the critical standards that have now become the platform for the program. NADDC had gone further to now create what they call the National Occupational Standard. That is a close collaboration. And we worked with them to develop the guideline for conversion also that was also published earlier this year. It is very important that every one of us play our role when it comes to safety. The Federal Road Safety Commission, they have a role to play because at emergency response, they have to know, oh, this is a CNG vehicle. It's different from having a PMS vehicle or a diesel vehicle. Then they have to respond in a very different way.
From policy support to partnerships, infrastructure to training, the Presidential Compressed Natural Gas Initiative is laying the foundation for an energy transition, and with the collaboration of the National Automotive Design and Development Council, Nigeria's auto sector and its people are on the fast lane to sustainable growth.
I'm super happy I converted. Depending on how the usage of my car, which of course I've limited since fuel prices went up, but I don't spend less than 45,000 naira. But with the conversion of CNG now, in a day, maybe 3,500, in a month, that's just 14,000 naira.
If you can see my vehicle, the amount the CNG, and I'm enjoying it. 3.5, I feel. I use it to make 30,000.
I refuel 3,600 and take off from Abuja to Jos. And it takes me from Abuja to Hawan Kibo, that is forest. Anybody who is familiar with that route knows that it's more than 200 kilometers. But let me tell you that 3,600 took me to close to Jos. Let's say 40 kilometers to Jos from Abuja, which is too cheap.
Welcome back. Beyond government initiatives, the real power of CNG adoption lies in the private sector, in the vision of manufacturers and assemblers who are reshaping mobility through cleaner, more affordable energy. This week, on our Meet the Manufacturer segment, our spotlight shines on industry leaders who are embracing this future, from Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing to Dangote Sinatruck West Africa Limited, and many more. Together, they present a powerful message that Nigeria's automotive transition is not just a government policy, but a shared industry commitment to cleaner, smarter, and more sustainable mobility. Let's explore their efforts.
Nigeria's automotive industry is at a turning point, with the global push towards cleaner, cheaper, and more sustainable energy sources. Local manufacturers are not just following the trend, they are leading it. From passenger vehicles to heavy-duty trucks, the compressed natural gas revolution is reshaping the way Nigerian vehicles are built and powered. At the forefront of this transition is Innocent Vehicle Manufacturing, Nigeria's pioneer indigenous automaker. Known for innovation and resilience, Innoson is blazing the trail with the manufacture of both CNG and electric vehicles with expanded production capacity at its Nnewi plant. The company is scaling up to meet growing national demand for affordable, energy-efficient mobility solutions.
CNG and the electric motor is way forward to all the world. In Nigeria today, when it started, people didn't understand it. But today, many people are interested. And we are now getting more and more order on CNG and the electric motor.
Another household name in Nigeria's auto space, Lanre Shitu Motors, is positioning itself as a key player in the CNG revolution. With a strong focus on new energy, most of their current vehicle lineups now run on compressed natural gas. Beyond sales and assembly, the company collaborates closely with the NADDC to train technicians and members of the Nigeria Union of Road Transport Workers on CNG conversion and maintenance, ensuring the ecosystem is ready to sustain the transition.
We are one of the foremost company that invested heavily in the CNG, capacity, especially when it comes to mass transit. We are the first local assembler manufacturer of mass transit, 100% mass transit CNG buses. We're the first local 100% manufacturer of mass transit buses. And that gave us a lot of leverage. And as we go by, you're going to see these buses are on ground. We're not just talking about it. You see them being assembled. You see them on ground, ready for delivery.
On the industrial scale, Dangote Sinotruck West Africa is charting a bold path, with the Dangote Group already operating its cement, sugar, salt, and flour businesses largely on CNG. Its automotive subsidiary has integrated CNG technology into the assembly line of heavy-duty trucks. The aim is clear: to achieve a 100% CNG-powered truck fleet that aligns with both company operations and national energy sustainability goals.
Whatever we are making for Dangote, this all 100% CNG. Our president has directed that we can't use diesel or any other vehicle, cement truck from now. Even whatever we have in fleet, we are all changing into the CNG. Yes, so we are now whatever we are getting this CKD for assembling for Dangote Group's use, we are all importing these raw materials. We are importing for the CNG only. So we have already stopped to use diesels, petrols trucks for Dangote sale. But outside other customer, they are still there. Our Dangote is like our in-house usage inside the plant. We have started to use the EV also. So Dangote Group itself is already, we are moving to the 100% CNG.
Together, these companies highlight the scope and promise of CNG adoption in Nigeria's automotive sector. From indigenous innovators to long-standing dealerships and multinational partnerships, the message is consistent. The future of mobility in Nigeria is cleaner, more efficient, and proudly homegrown. With the National Automotive Design and Development Council driving policy, training, and standards, Nigeria's CNG journey is then not just about vehicles. It's about powering economic growth, reducing dependence on imported fuels, and securing a sustainable future for generations to come.
My name na Ajoke. I'm a bus driver. I come here for CNG. I hear say government they give free CNG. That is why I work in. They give me free CNG. I give thanks to our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that make it possible. Thank you, our president, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for this initiative where I no pay anything.
Well, that brings us to the end of this edition of Automotive Hour. From the Council's collaboration with PCNGI to industry champions adopting new energy, the road ahead is clear. Nigeria's automotive sector is charting a cleaner, more competitive future. At the National Automotive Design and Development Council, our mission is simple: to drive innovation, support manufacturers, and lead Nigerians into a new era of sustainable mobility. On behalf of the Council, thank you for watching. Do well to follow our social media handles showing on your screen for more updates, features, and industry news. Join us same time next week for another exciting episode. Until then, I am Maimuna Ahoiza Zubair, and this is Automotive Hour. Bye for now.